changing your life one story at a time. This is the Chicken Soup for the Soul podcast with Editor-in-Chief Amy Newmark.
Hey, it's Amy Newmark with your daily dose of Chicken Soup for the Soul inspiration to make you simply happy. It's Thoughtful Thursday, and today I want to talk about a few wise words that can change everything for you and put whatever you're going through into perspective. These words crystallize what has always been the foundation for my own ability to not feel sorry for myself when I'm going through something tough. And I want to share them with you because I think you're going to find them very useful. There was a great story in our book about random acts of kindness that illustrates the value of these words. In this story, Elizabeth Morson tells us that she was at her first doctor visit after the birth of her son. She had told her husband, no problem, she could take the baby with her. And there she was with all that stuff that new mothers carry around with them to go anywhere with the first baby. She had it all planned. The baby would be starting his nap just as she started her appointment. But when she got to the doctor's office, she learned that he had been out delivering a baby that morning, and now he was running very late. And then her baby started crying, and no matter what Elizabeth did, he wouldn't stop. It went on for an hour. She fed him, she changed his diaper, she burped him, she did everything she knew how to do. And nothing worked. He kept crying. She was embarrassed. She was in a room full of women who probably knew way better than she did how to care for a baby. And she was bothering everyone with the baby's loud crying. And she felt like she looked incompetent. When she looked around the room, she could see the impatience on everyone's face. Or at least she thought she did. But it turned out the impatience she saw had nothing to do with her crying baby. They were all just tired of waiting for the doctor. Elizabeth didn't know that, though, so she spoke to the room full of ladies, and she said, I am so sorry. I'm not sure what's wrong. One of the older ladies, who was calmly reading a book, turned to her and said, Oh, sweetie, please don't worry about it. We have all been there. It's just your turn. It's just your turn. That's actually the title of Elizabeth's story. And Elizabeth says it was one of the kindest things anyone had ever said to her, and one of the wisest observations she had ever heard about parenting. With those simple words, that lady had assured Elizabeth that her crisis would pass. And of course it did. The baby fell asleep, and Elizabeth was called back to see the doctor just minutes later. Elizabeth says that 7 years have passed since that day. She has 3 kids now, and that phrase remains her go-to phrase. If her toddler has a screaming fit in the middle of Costco, Elizabeth just reminds herself, it will pass, it's just your turn. If her oldest is having trouble at school, Elizabeth takes a deep breath, and she realizes she'll figure it out. It's just her turn now for that. Elizabeth says that when you look at your friends on Facebook, you only see the best parts of their lives. You forget that everyone has their screaming baby moments at every stage of their lives. We all go through these things, and when they happen, it's very comforting to remember that lots of other people have gone through the exact same things, and they've found a way to come out the other side. Every tough situation eventually comes to an end. Every problem has a solution if you give yourself time to figure it out. Challenges are just a part of life, of everyone's life. If you accept that it's just your turn now, and that millions of other people are having the same problem right now, and that tens of millions of people have had that same problem in their past and made it through, you can stop feeling sorry for yourself, and you can just dig in and deal with it. So whether you're taking care of a screaming baby, or you're handling a difficult situation at work, or you're caring for an elderly parent with dementia, or you're living through an illness, it really helps to remember everyone who already did this and then remind yourself, it's just my turn. Come back tomorrow for Friend Friday. You're going to meet Ashton Kutcher. We'll be talking about positive journalism and the very positive website, aplus.com, that Ashton Kutcher co-founded. It's part of Chicken Soup for the Soul now, and we're going to talk to Ashton about his philosophy and why he created aplus.com. Thanks for listening to the podcast today. If you want to read some sample stories from Chicken Soup for the Soul Random Acts of Kindness, sign up for our free daily newsletter on our website, chickensoup.com. We'll be sending out stories from the book. And if you want to read the whole book, you'll find it at Walmart, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Costco Canada, Indigo, Amazon, and wherever else books are sold in the U.S. and Canada.